Good morning. It is a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. I want to apologize to you all for not being able to come on yesterday. I was very, very busy doing something new, and I'll talk a little bit about the importance of stretching out, stepping out of your comfort zone and doing new things. We'll talk a little bit about that. But yesterday, there's some opportunities that came up for me, and I needed to take advantage of those. So, and we'll chat about those. But it's a beautiful Sunday morning. It's normally Saturday when I come to you, but it is Sunday. As for our numerology, a number of the day, today is a 7 day. And 7 has to do with peace. It has to do with rest after your labor, just lying back and enjoying what you've already done. Smelling the flowers. 7 is also the gateway to infinite intelligence, and so it's represented by the color violet or purple, and the amethyst stone or crystal is what signifies number 7 and the 7th chakra. And we've talked about all the chakras before. And today is just one of those days to really rest, be in peace, understand that everything that needs to be done has been done, and now all you need to do is, in faith, know that everything is working out for you. Can we rest in that? Knowing that everything is working out, no matter what is happening, no matter how it looks, no matter how the week has gone. Understand that you've done your best. There's a plane right above us. I'll wait for it to pass. Understand that you have done your best. And now all you can do is sit back and believe and have faith that your efforts have been fruitful and productive. And the universe is conspiring for your benefit. All things work together for good. So just sit back and enjoy a 7 day where you rest on your labors. You rest knowing that everything that could possibly be done has been done. I also want to remind you all that there is a super full moon. There is a hummingbird to my left. And for me, whenever I see hummingbirds, that is a sign that I am on the right track. I'm in my element. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So whenever I see a hummingbird, that's a very, very good sign for me. And maybe you all have different signs in your life that show up to remind you or to let you know that you're on the right path. For me, it's a hummingbird. So that just happened. So I'm feeling good about that. What I was saying is that there is a super moon that's happening tomorrow. It's a pink moon. And as always, as I've explained before, a full moon is an opportunity for you to plant seeds of intention for the next 2 weeks. It's an opportunity for you to think about what is really, really important for you. What is it that you need to come to fruition in the next half a month or so that you've been gestating, that you've been thinking about, that you've been mulling over? What is it that you want to manifest? And it is on a day like today that you think about those things. I would even take out a journal. There's a plane over me. Let's let it go. I would even journal, and I would even write down those top 3 to 5 things that I have intentions on manifesting. And for each of those things, I would think about it. I would envision me having it. I would envision what it would take for it to come to fruition, and I would take some time, maybe 3 minutes or so on each of those things. I would think about it, I would envision it, I would see it, but I would also have an emotion around it. So it's not just about vision, it's not just about seeing things, but you also have to associate it with a feeling. What is it gonna feel like when that thing comes to fruition? What does it feel like when you manifest that particular seed of intention that you're planting? So what I would do right now, let's practice. Let's take a moment and let's think about something that we want to take place in the next couple of days, in the next couple of weeks. See that thing happening. First of all, you need to have a smile on your face. Close your eyes. See it happening. Go into a little detail. Imagine it in a little bit more detail. See the colors. Understand the colors that you're seeing, that you're wearing, that people are wearing, the colors that are in nature, the scene, the details, the people that are there. And now begin to associate having that with a feeling. What is the feeling that comes to you when you imagine yourself having this thing that you have been desiring, or when you see this thing manifested that you have been wanting for a long time, that you deserve, that you've been working for? What does it feel like to have it? That is the key. You can't just see it, people. You have to have a feeling that's attached to it, because it is the feeling that is going to magnetize all the cooperating components that will come together to bring that thing to manifestation. Okay? I can go into a lot of detail on how that works scientifically and through physics, but we can talk about that later. The most important thing for you to get from this conversation is when you are planting seeds of intention, it is important for you not only to have a vision, but you need to have an emotion that's associated with that vision. That is what pulls it. The thought is associated with the vision of it. That is the spark. That is the electric. The magnet is the feeling associated with that thought. That is the magnetism. That is the attraction. So this is how we're dealing in the quantum field with electromagnetism. This is all electromagnetic. Okay? So hopefully that is something that you'll take away from this and you'll be able to use. But think of 3 to 5 things. Obviously, you can't do them all today, or all at this moment. But begin to write some things down and go through that practice and that exercise of envisioning it, and then also associating an emotion to it. Okay, and that is going to be something that you are going to cultivate, that you're going to incubate over the next couple of days, and then watch in the next 2 weeks how these things begin to come to fruition, that you'll be able to see the parts of it popping up in your reality. And this is a way of life. This is a lifestyle that you can begin to walk in, that is going to allow you to let go of some of the old systems and some of the old structures that you've been attached to in your life that are not really based on your own heart creations. They've been based on old systems and structures that you have either inherited or either you have begun to attach to because that is what everyone else does. So we're moving into a different time where we're becoming sovereign creators of our own lives. There are going to be many of us who understand how to do that, and will continue to live in this next age in an abundant way. And those of us who are still attached to the old systems and old structures, and will attach ourselves to those things as they are crushed and fall down, and we'll be lost with those. You have to choose how you want to live and how you want to move forward. Okay? So that is the new moon that's coming. You will see tomorrow. It is going to be very big, and it's something that you want to begin to prepare for, because this is a real opportunity for you to walk in the newness of your new life as a creator, as someone who is associated with the divine creator. You have to begin to realize who you are, that you're not just a human that's subject to the elements, that doesn't have power. You have power and you have sovereignty if you begin to let that go by. If you begin to align yourself with the divine creator, if you begin to align yourself with the understanding that that is where you come from, that you are a spark from the creator, and as such you have many of the same attributes and many of the same features, and it is your responsibility to cultivate and develop those. Okay? All right. So we talked last week about the importance of choosing love over fear, and I'd really, really like to hear from you, whether it's right now, if you want to talk to me right now about some of the experiences you had last week after we talked about the importance of choosing love over fear, and how to actually do that, and what happens as a result of realizing how your life unfolds more auspiciously when you are consciously realizing okay? That you don't have to react to everything, that you can sometimes just sit back and observe and then decide consciously the choice you're gonna make. So we don't always have to be triggered, and we don't always have to react to people that are maybe doing things that we don't disagree with. We can sit back and observe and have a sense of neutrality, but then we can decide to make a decision to choose a way that we're going to respond. And what I was talking to you about last week is responding with love instead of fear is what you want to get in the habit of doing. You want to create a new pattern of responding with love. And love isn't always eros, and love isn't always lovey-dovey. Love is what is aligned with your true nature, what is aligned with your authenticity, what is aligned with the way that your life is unfolding, and what is reflective of your best life and your best qualities. That is choosing love, okay? And so you want to choose a response, words and actions that always reflect the best of you, okay? And it's challenging at first, okay? And you may fail at times at first, but once you become more aware of yourself and observe yourself, you're going to catch yourself making choices that are not in love, and then the next time you'll do better, okay? So I really want to hear from people as to how last week went in terms of consciously choosing love over fear. And so whether you send me a comment right now, or if you want to join right now and share, that would be great. But I want to hear from you with regard to that, because that is going to be the biggest way to change your life altogether, okay? Now, we also spoke about authenticity, and I want to share with you some experiences that I've had recently, because I tell you, if I don't practice what I preach, then I'm a fake, right? I'm not perfect. I'm no one's guru. If you know me, you know that I've had my ups and downs in life, and I've made some mistakes, but I've also overcome a lot. And so one of the things I spoke about a couple of weeks ago is the importance of authenticity. And authenticity is the idea that you are being the person that you were meant to be. You are doing things that are aligned with your unique gifts and talents. You are someone that takes the time to get to know who you are and understand why you say or do the things you do, why you think the way you think. You understand what makes you tick. And so as you do that, you are a much more honest person. You're not afraid of being honest and saying what's really on your mind and saying what you really think. When you become more authentic, you are also the type of person who is going to share in a vulnerable way the things that you're going through in your life, so that the people that you are around have an understanding of who you are authentically. And what happens as a result of that, where if they're your tribe, if they're your soul tribe, they're going to begin to do the same thing. They're also going to allow themselves to be vulnerable with you. They're also going to share what they're learning with you, and together you all are forming what I call a social complex. You're forming a soul tribe where you're learning not only from each other, but the things that you go through in your life, the things that you're learning, you bring it back and you share, and so you're expanding everybody's consciousness and awareness as a result of that. When you are authentic, you're not afraid to open up. You're not afraid to share. You realize that you're now in the pattern of making choices based on love and not fear. So that's all to say that has begun for me. I met some friends recently that are a result of me sending out and radiating the aura of who I really am. And if you do that, if you have the courage to do that, you begin to draw and attract to yourself people that are like-minded, people that are also working on their self-development, working on their spirit, and working on the expansion of their consciousness, and improving and enhancing the level of love, and so that they're able to be more and more of who they're supposed to be. And I've met some people like that, and I tell you, it's a beautiful thing to be able to share some of this knowledge and some of this wisdom with other people that are looking for that are really hungry for more than just the superficial, more than just what we're seeing with our eyes. There are people out there that are looking for what they can see with their soul, with their heart, with their third eye. And I'm meeting those types of people, and it is extremely fulfilling and a confirmation that I'm on the right track. So I invite you to begin to do some of the same things. And if you haven't listened to that particular episode several weeks ago, it's called Authenticity, or it has the word authenticity in it. I recommend it because it's working, and life is a beautiful thing. Now there are ups and downs, and there are challenges to overcome that will allow you to further expand, because once you learn some things, you will be tested, right? You will be tested. You will have to sit for that exam to confirm that you actually know what you just learned. Because some people say knowledge is power, but it's actually the application of knowledge that's power. So you're going to have to apply that knowledge in order to move on to that next level and stop going through that same circle, that same spiral. In order to move on up, you got to be tested. And you will get to the point where you welcome that test, because it means that you're moving to a new level of consciousness. Okay. It looks like the sprinklers. I'm gonna be sprinkled. Let's see if I'm gonna survive it. I'm not gonna survive it. It's coming. The water's coming. The water's coming. So I escaped the water. You guys saw it. So here I am. As you see, I am at Tempe Town Lake, and I almost got sprinkled. And I think I survived it, but we're just gonna continue. What I was saying, and now I don't have my notes, so now I'm free flowing here. Basically, check out the authenticity episode. It's going to help you to be able to create new patterns, so that you begin to draw to yourself people that are like-minded, people that are also looking to expand their consciousness and awareness, and people that are okay with you being who you really are, people that are not going to make you feel silly or crazy for the unique and original ideas and ways that you see things. It's going to be very important as you move on with your life that you begin to be more authentic, and realize that as you're authentic, you are going to draw people to you that are the same way. So I welcome you to do that, and it's going to be something that's going to benefit you. Now, I'm free flowing without my notes, so you're going to have to be patient with me as I remember the next thing I was going to do. Yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you an aspect of shadow work that I experienced recently, and this is pretty personal, but I realize that the more and more I'm on here, and the more and more I share, eventually you're going to get to know me a little bit better. And hopefully that means that I'm going to get to know you better too, through your comments, through your DMs, through your emails, and when you contact me outside of this. But anyway, one of the issues that we all have is triggers. And we all get triggered. I mean, no matter how much you ascend, there is still going to be some aspect of human in you. There's going to be some shadow that you need to work out, that you need to flip, so that you can use that shadow to your advantage, so it becomes a part of your wisdom and not just shadow that can be a dead weight, right? So one of my shadows, I'll just be vulnerable with you, is my shadow is feeling, when I feel disrespected, when I feel like someone used the wrong tone with me, when I feel like someone is ungrateful, that triggers me, and I might snap, I might get upset, I might become abrupt, and this is something that has been recurring in my life and has caused some challenges in my life. People who know me and have known me for a long time in different circles and different contexts, one of the things that people know about me is that Ernest can be kind of abrupt. Yeah, he can be abrupt, or he might lash out on you if you say the wrong thing, or if you come at him the wrong way, he will get you. You know, he's verbally, he can be incisive, and he will make you feel bad, you know, and that's part of who I have been. And, you know, I have to accept that's part of me. But the other thing is I know where that comes from. And so I'm going to share with you something. So one of the things I did night before last is when I have some time alone where I can do a little shadow work, when it comes to me, there's another hummingbird letting me know that what I'm about to do is right. See, this is great. I was driving to meet some friends. This was on a Friday evening. I was driving to meet some friends, and on the way there, I thought, well, my intuition told me to do some shadow work, and so this is what I did. As I was driving, I called out to my 7-year-old self. At 7, 6, 7, 8, there's some things that happened to me that were very traumatic, and they didn't have to do with any kind of abuse, physical abuse, or anything like that. It was emotional abuse, and it was mental abuse, and of course, the people who did that didn't know what they were doing. They just thought they were doing what needed to be done. But to give you a little background, as a 5, 6, or 7-year-old, if you haven't read my book, this is in the book, I was charged with taking care of my brother and sister. So at 6 years old, I had a 1-year-old sister and a 3-year-old brother, and sometimes my parents left us alone, and I had to take care of them. There was a point where I had to take care of them, and I didn't, you know, my sister fell and hurt her eye, and I got punished and spanked for that, and, you know, that was a serious trauma for me. And so as a result of that, I vowed to myself, how many of us make these vows to ourselves that that'll never happen again? I vowed to myself that she would never be out of my reach again, or my brother would never be able to be in a situation where I can't be there to control it and make sure they're okay and make sure they listen. So you can probably get a feel for who I became after that. So I became a very controlling kid. I became a very precocious kid. I became a kid who was like a little adult. The adults saw me as a little adult, and they knew that they can give me responsibilities that were way above what I'm supposed to do, and I would do them. And so, as you can imagine, that took a toll on a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, so that I grew into someone that other kids didn't necessarily want to be around, and many adults didn't want to be around. I was someone who was described as, I think I had one of my great aunts said, he's impudent, or he's mannish, or, you know, they loved me, they didn't like me, right? But I couldn't help it. I was now a caretaker. I was now a surrogate who took care of my brother and sister, and I made them listen. So imagine an 8-year-old punishing a 6-year-old and making sure a 3-year-old, you know, did what they were supposed to do. And if that meant spanking them, if that meant putting them in their place, I did it. And it seemed like the right thing to do. But I remember that when I was an early teenager, when I had to watch my brother, I would have friends and they would say, "Why are you talking to him that way? Or why are you so mean to him?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? You don't know who he is. You don't know what I have to deal with." And at the time, I was very serious. But now, in retrospect, I'm a 53-year-old going on 54 years old. When I look back at it now through the eyes of wisdom, through the eyes of someone who has gone through some healing, now I see how much of a caricature that was, that happened to me, and that I became this person. So that is all to say this. I'm driving in the car, and the shadow work entailed me saying, "Hey, Ernest, come here, come sit on my knee." So I would call myself and I said to little Ernest, "Come sit on my knee, let me talk to you." And I would tell my little 7-year-old, the little 7-year-old Ernest, I would tell him, I said, "Nobody has told you this, but you are amazing. Nobody's told you this, but you are so responsible, so amazing, so loving. You have such a pure heart. All you want to do is give and love and keep giving. And you just want to do the right thing. You want to please your parents. You want to please your siblings. You want to do the right thing. You just love people. And maybe people don't see that, but I see it. And I want you to know that God appreciates that the divine creator appreciates you and loves you and knows who you really are. I love you. I'm thankful for you. I'm here for you. I want you to know that your higher self, your higher being is here watching over you and making sure you're okay. You are going to be okay. Okay? I got you. Come here." And I hugged my little 7-year-old, 8-year-old self, and I reassured him and I let him know, you are going to be okay. I love you. God loves you. You have a lot to offer the world. That goodness and purity inside you, that love that you want to give, that may be misunderstood. We understand it, and we are going to work on that with you. We're going to cultivate that with you so that it is something that is going to change the world. And so that is what I told myself. And as I was doing that, it felt like the right thing, but it got to a point where I began to get emotional, and I had to park, and the tears began. It's like a dam broke, and I just was gushing out tears, and I was crying, and I snot and tears all over the place, and I almost texted my friends to cancel because I didn't know how I was going to bring myself together and be able to be coherent for that evening. But after 5 to 10 minutes or so of gathering myself, I was able to have a great evening and even share that experience with them. And of course, they responded with love, and they were very happy to know that I could share that with them. So the point is that, number one, shadow work doesn't end, and that you have to continue to do that. You have to continue to dig deep and understand more and more of who you are by delving into that shadow. Because as you delve into the shadow of some of the trauma that you've gone through, you flip it. It becomes not just a shadow, but now there's a light that shines from it that illuminates you in a way that takes all of your difficulty and all the challenges, and it turns them into gems and light that shines forth your unique aura, your unique frequency that enhances you and allows you to do a work, allows you to heal others, and people see your pain unconsciously. It's just it's a frequency, it's a vibration. You don't even have to say anything about it, but they know that because of your authenticity and your vulnerability, you are someone that can help them heal. And how do you help them heal? You help them heal because your vulnerability and your authenticity puts them at ease, so that now they can be vulnerable and they can talk and share. And when they do that, that in itself heals them. They become healed just by talking it out, just by knowing that they have a listening ear in you that is not going to judge what they're saying. Are you following me? So this is what I am trying to share every time I get on here. I'm groping with words and for words that are going to express to you how you can expand, how you can open up and realize that there is more bandwidth to be had. There is much more bandwidth. And the water is heading, the water has found me. The water has found me. Okay. All my stuff is wet, but that's okay. Water is good. Water is an ally. Water is life. Water baptizes us. Water allows us to move from one dimension to the other. So I will love water. I'll just have to wipe off my journal and my computer, and I'll be good. So what did we discuss? What did we cover? I think we covered some really, really good stuff today. We talked about numerology. We talked about number 7 and the significance of number 7. We went over the fact that there is a supermoon, a full moon that is a supermoon. It's called the pink moon, and that is happening tomorrow. It's important for you to plant your seeds of intention, and remember to marry your thoughts with emotion that is going to attract and draw to you the thing that you desire. We talked about the importance of authenticity and sharing and being the real you and being honest, so that you draw to yourself people that are like-minded, people that are also resonating with you and your unique beauty and your unique light, so that you can have someone to share this journey with. It's being alone is important. 2020 taught us that going inside is something that we need to do from time to time, and we shouldn't always be forced to do that by the types of things that happened in 2020. So it's okay to be alone and to experience solitude for self-knowledge, but it's also important to have a soul tribe. It's important to have people that you resonate with that allow you to expand, and through your expansion they also expand, and through their expansion and their ascension you ascend. So it's nice to bring people with you. With that said, enjoy this beautiful Sunday. As you can tell, I am enjoying it myself. I am going to be meeting one of my new friends for brunch today in the next couple of minutes. Very much looking forward. And I want you to go out there and I want you to meet people and I want you to enjoy life. And comment on what you got out of this. What was the most important thing for you from this video? And also let me know to what extent you've been able to consciously choose love over fear. Take care. Love you all.